The Elden Ring board game has arrived and I'm super excited to show you everything about it, including all the sets one by one. We're going to start with the Weeping Peninsula set, which is the starter set if you're going to be playing the game, and we're going to do the unboxing of this set, checking everything that's inside the box, like the cards, the characters, including the bandit and hero, which are unique to this set, the enemies and bosses, exploration tiles, and more. But before I start, I would like to give very special thanks to Steamforged Games for sending us this copy of the set. Hi, I'm Nick, and we are Tabletop Duo. Grab your favorite drink, and without further ado, let's start the unboxing. And here it is, Elden Ring, the board game, the Weeping Peninsula. Really excited to start unboxing this one. So let's start by removing the shrink wrap. So on the board game cover, we get a concept art of the map of the Weeping Peninsula. On the sides you have the Elden Ring logo, and in the back you get to see all the components. This set comes with 16 enemy miniatures, 4 hero miniatures, 4 encounter books, 1 scenario book, 4 dashboards, 45 hex tiles, 177 tokens, 754 cards, and 1 rulebook. Alright, so let's open it up. Ta-da! First we have the rulebook. Quite a big rulebook. Here you get the tarnished you can play for this set, and 2 of them are exclusive to the Weeping Peninsula, the bandit and the hero. Then we get to the Elden Ring Weeping Peninsula scenario book. Here you get to see all the scenarios of this set. You get the narrative bits. And in some cases, depending on your choice, you get to actually choose which narrative you're gonna read. So kind of like those old books where you got to choose your fate. And also similar to Monster Hunter board game. Then we get the 4 encounter books. The encounter books are like this, and in some of them you get to see that you can kind of combine them together to make like bigger boards. Before we look at the miniatures, let's check what we have below this pamphlet, which in the back you get to see the campaign structure. So you get to see how they play together. So you have the Weeping Peninsula, Realm of the Grafted King, Stormveil Castle. So you can play all of these 4 sets. They lead you into the Helm of the Grafted King, and then eventually when you finish, you get to play the Stormveil Castle. Can't wait to play all of the campaigns, and we are starting right with this set. Next we get the 4 player boards. The hero boards have slots where you're gonna place the corresponding cards here on the side, 3 slots in the middle, and then some slots on the side so you can use the potions and other types of tokens, and the buff cards are set on this side. It's kind of similar to the Monster Hunter World board game, so you get to put the armor, weapons, and the talisman at the bottom, and the combat deck and the attribute deck, as well as the discard here on this section. Then we get to the punch board. We have a total of 3 punch boards. The first punch board comes with lots of dials. So here we have the rivets, so let's assemble them. So here are the 4 assembled player 3 dials. The 3 dials, they mark your health, your FP, and your hand size. And you also get 2 boss HP dials. Here is how they look. You get some spirit ashes, which includes the Winged Misbegotten, Rotten Stray, Lone Wolf. Here are a few more Lone Wolves. Time marker, NPC marker, Stake of Marika, Effigy of the Martyr, and then here are advanced location markers. Flask of Crimson Tears and Flask of Cerulean. Here you have the non-used side and the used side for both. some player placeholder markers, and a bunch of other tokens that mark locations, quests, status, and so on. Then we get to the bottom of the box. So first we remove the insert cover. You get to see that there is space for you to keep some of the components on the upper side. You get 3 plastic bags to place your components. Let's go straight to the miniatures. At first we get to see the 4 hero miniatures. As I mentioned before, we get the astrologer, the prophet, the bandit, and the hero. Each miniature is really detailed. They all have a textured base. We also get some rotten strays. There are 4 of them in this set. 6 misbegotten, all of them with a textured base. 3 winged misbegotten, again amazing details on the wings. They look exactly like in the video game. We also get 2 scaly misbegotten. These ones are big, have a bigger base, again textured. Lots of details on their body and kind of the deformities on the axe and kind of the cracking parts of the axe. And the big bad guy of the Weeping Peninsula, the Leonine Misbegotten. It's a big miniature. You get to see the sword with its cracks, the details on the head of the miniature, the scales on the tail, the parts of the wings in the back. It's really cool. Next, we're gonna go for the hexes. They are all in this shrink wrap, so let's open it up. Like I mentioned before, there are 64 of them. Simplistic art style, which is similar to the map you get in Elden Ring. I'm gonna try to place them on the table to kind of give you the feeling when placed together. And then we get to the cards. Let's start with these 2 packs of small cards. First we get the Murmy Rings of the Crone, a couple of Stake of Marika, which are the cards you're going to be using kind of like your extra lives. Weather cards, consumables. We also get some materials, more materials, some crafting recipes, runes. I'm just gonna scan a few of those so you get to see them on screen, look at the artwork, what the cards do, and so on. Next, let's go through this entire section of cards. Since there are 754 cards, the game comes with some dividers, so you can organize them on the insert. That's pretty nice. Here we get a bunch of event cards. That's how they look in the back. We also get some attribute cards. So this is for strength. This one is for dexterity, endurance. This one is for faith. And this one are common. Boss cards. You can see the behavior. Enemy cards. You see the background is slightly different between the 2. Guidance of Grace cards. And Spirit Candles. The Astrologer profile card and also the initial cards. I'm gonna scan them so you can see the initiative cards for the Astrologer. And here it's like the Astrologer's gear and other equipment and the Astrologer quest. Here we get the Bandit profile card as well as the initial armor. I'm also gonna put them on screen so you get to see the Bandit initiative card. And the Bandit is unique to the Weeping Peninsula set. So if you're looking to play with this character, this is where you get it. Next we get the Hero profile card and the initial weapons and armor. This again, it's another exclusive hero to the Weeping Peninsula. I'm gonna scan the cards so you get to see them. And then we get the Prophet. Again, the profile card with the initial equipment. I'm also gonna scan and place them on screen so you get to see the Prophet initiative card. And again, more weapons and combat cards. Here we get some trait cards. This is for FP, for health, hand size. These ones are map cards. Oops, how they look in the back. These are the spirit ashes. So we get the Rotten Stray, Winged Misbegotten. Then we have talisman cards. We have the classic Cerulean Ember, Crimson Ember, the Turtle, or should I say dog, talisman. This entire pack of cards is just composed of weapon and combat cards. More combat and weapon cards. You also get some sorceries here. Most of the other cards are acquired by playing the campaign and its scenarios, so I won't show these packs to avoid giving any spoilers. I think you guys prefer that way. And that's it for the cards. The insert seems to fit all the components nicely. And that's it for the contents. Now let's talk a little bit about the components themselves, some of the cards and things like this. From what I've seen so far, the campaign cards and monsters are faithfully extracted from the Weeping Peninsula from the video game. This shows how Steamforged Games took a lot of care into studying the game, the different areas, quests and challenges the players face. I like the Tarnished Heroes for this set as well, with the Astrologer focusing more on spells that hit entire sections of the board, the Bandit with his extra actions and the ability to move a lot during the combat, the Hero with his strong attacks and block abilities, and the Prophet with his abilities to heal and draw cards. What do you think about this Tarnished? I'm curious to know which ones you used when you played the video game. We really like the tiles, as well as their artwork that depicts well the game map, and the art is good enough to give you the thematic of the place without risking the readability of the actions players can do on them. I'm also stoked by the quality of the miniatures. They are very detailed, feel sturdy and have a nice texture base. Every new Steamforged game seems to get an upgrade on the quality of their miniatures, and since Elden Ring is such an iconic game with unique monsters compared to other video games, you need all that care to properly showcase all the details. I'm also curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think they look like the ones from the video game? And these are just our first impressions, so stay tuned in the next few days for more videos of the Elden Ring board game. And if you have not done so, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel so you help it reaching more viewers and receive a notification whenever a new video from Tabletop Duo comes out. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye!